Adrian. You got the Hulk stuff.
Yep.
We talked about neutered Hulk. So remember before neutered Hulk, we had Savage Hulk?
Yes.
There's a rumor right now. So one of the other, we talked about this last week, how pushing Doomsday and Secret Wars back. Now, Spider-Man Brand New Day will be released before these movies. So we're like, what are the chances that maybe it's not a big multiverse fest? Maybe it's more of a grounded story. And sounds like that may be what we're getting. So Savage Hulk right now is rumored to be the main antagonist in Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Okay.
Now, obviously, they're going to need to explain how we get there, because the last time we saw Bruce Banner's Hulk, or Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, was in She-Hulk, fucking meditating and training his sister or his cousin and getting his ass whooped by She-Hulk, pretty much.
So how do you have instantaneous healing power, but you're walking around with a sling, an arm sling? That's like, I'm running for public office. Let me pretend to get shot in the ear, and then I'll wear a patch for the next month so I can get reelected.
What are you saying, Adrian?
I'm just hypothetically,
Right, yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know, dude. That part, that was one of the many things that bothered me about the Smart Hulk. It was funny. It's kind of like Fat Thor. It was funny for a scene.
That wasn't funny at all. It wasn't funny at all. Fat or Split.
Okay.
Neither one funny.
Well, yeah, I'm not down with the Split. But for me in Endgame, it was funny, and then it got old real quick.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the same thing with the Smart Hulk. Like, it was kind of jarring to see him real. Like, I remember when you first saw him in the diner, you're like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Right.
Like, it's Hulk, but it's Bruce, it's Mark Ruffalo, and he's talking, and he's smaller. What the hell?
Right.
And then real quick, it got old.
Yeah.
And then even in that movie, when they go back in time in Endgame, and he sees the old version of himself, remember when he's like, oh, God, he's like embarrassed? You almost see like, damn, I wish we would have had that Hulk.
Yeah.
So anyway, somehow they got to go from that Smart Hulk back to Savage Hulk. I mean, there's plenty of ways they could do it, right?
Yeah, just make the Harrison Ford Red Hulk green, and you're all set.
There you go. That's the other thing. Could it be, is it the Mark Ruffalo Hulk, or is it another version? Who knows?
Who knows?
I hope they just take unfortunately, we're probably stuck with Mark Ruffalo until this Secret Wars and all that stuff is done. But I hope they figure out a way, explain. You don't even really have to explain it. Just have fucking Savage Hulk show up. Who cares? It's been that bad, It's kind of like the recast T'Challa. Just drop him in. Who cares?
Well, they don't have to keep Ruffalo, just like they didn't keep Gal Gadot, just like they didn't keep Superboy, the Superman boy or whatever. They just dumped everybody. Clean house.
True.
They can do that at any time, I guess, right?
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to get rid of your boy Mark. But so what we've heard so far about this is that there's also going to be some street level villains in here: Scorpion, Boomerang, Tombstone, and Mr. Negative. And they're going to market this, though, as a Spider-Man versus Hulk movie. Now, again, these are all rumors. When I hear this, I wonder if, because Sony is famous or infamous for doing this. Oh, the multiverse worked over there. Let's do it in our movie. Oh, that worked over there. Let's do it in our movie. We know that outside of the Spider-Man movies, Sony's universe fucking sucked.
Right. So we're not creative. We just steal everything.
Yes. So when I hear this, I go, like, I'm excited to see Savage Hulk regardless, but I wonder if Sony is trying to recreate Deadpool and Wolverine in a way.
Of course.
Right?
It was hugely successful.
And it was kind of a Deadpool versus Wolverine movie for a chunk of it. And then they ended up joining forces, right? Teaming up. But we got a couple badass Hulk or Wolverine Spider-Man fights.
Right.
So who's to say that they're not trying to, which may not be a bad thing here.
Right.
Sometimes, copying something and doing another version of it's not bad.
No.
If the movie's good.
Sure. But whatever you do, please, whoever's watching us today, can somebody please redo Colossus? Please. Because
You don't like that Colossus?
No,
huh?
not at all, dude. He just, I don't know. He's almost like a fat Thor to me.
Okay. His look?
The look. It's the look. He's he's almost like the Ruffalo Hulk to me.
A little too husky.
Yeah.
Got it. You want him more chiseled out.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. I didn't mind him. I thought he was a good addition to the Deadpool movie. I kind of wish he was in Deadpool Wolverine a little bit. But I mean, listen, comic book movies, they have a history of this. One movie works, and they take that formula and redo it a few times, right?
And that's cool.
Hey, if it worked there, I think it would work here.
Yeah, but except for DC. DC has a tendency to, hey, let's do this thing. Oh, it's cool. Let's not do that. Let's start from scratch again, and then we fuck up the next 10 of them.
You know, we need more slow-mo. Put more slow-mo in that bitch.
No, extra slow-mo.
Yes.
That's extra.
Absolutely. And let's make the movie 9 fucking hours long. Like, come on, dude. Like, 3 hours and change is like the max, dude. Right. And that's like gotta be, that's like an Endgame movie, right? They made their first damn, no Snyder cut 4 fucking, it had to have chapters, dude. If a movie has to have a bathroom break, it's too long, okay? Right.
It's like a R&B wardrobe change in a concert.
Mm-hmm. Seriously. Now, Spider-Man versus Hulk. So we're going to do a little impromptu versus right here, all right? Before we even dig into, even really think about it, off the bat, who do you say wins this?
I mean, if they can't get away, I mean, Hulk will pulverize Spider-Man.
I think so too.
But this is one of those situations where, like, I've decided to get a red truck, right? Whatever it is. And then once I decide to see a red truck, I've never seen red trucks before. There's only 8 people in the town that I live in, but all of a sudden, everybody has a red truck, right? So this is one of those situations with Spider-Man and the Hulk. You don't realize how many team-ups they've had in the past. Right. It's almost like Spider-Man and the Hulk have been together in cartoons, in comic books. I mean, just all over the place, except the movies, right?
Right.
So it's almost like they're like a, like a Batman and Robin kind of a situation because they've been together so much. Not necessarily even fighting each other, just posing, marketing, all this other kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And I think there definitely was a time before all these movies where they were 2 of the most popular Marvel characters.
Right.
Like it's why their rights were sold off first, right? It's like almost why we got the Avengers was they pimped out the Spider-Man rights, the Hulk rights, because Marvel was going bankrupt. Right. And these were their most popular characters. The other studios, they didn't even want the damn. I mean, Sony had the option to buy all of the characters, and they're like, no, keep that bullshit. Just give us Spider-Man. And Hulk was already taken, I think, by Universal. Ain't that some shit?
Wow.
But you remember when these 2 were like, you think Marvel, you thought these 2.
Right.
And then maybe Wolverine's probably in there, right?
Nah. I mean, back when I was reading, it was like Hulk and Spider-Man was it, dude. I mean, of course, I was into the tech, so, slam with the Iron Man and the Fantastic Four. But the Hulk and Spider-Man were, I mean, remember, those were, the first couple of movies that came out in the 70s. The Hulk with that sheepskin wearing Thor and Spider-Man, which I still like to this day, that version of the Spider-Man.
Right. And then they were some of the first movies. I mean, Hulk's had more solo movies than a lot of these guys, right?
Yep.
You had the back in the day, the old Lou Ferrigno Hulk. Then you had the Eric Bana Hulk, right? I never really saw that whole movie. That's when he actually gets really big when he's angry and shit. And then you had the Edward Norton Hulk, which I like his Bruce Banner way more than Mark Ruffalo's.
Oh, absolutely, because Bruce Banner's a geek. He's a medium-sized guy. He's like 5'7", 5'8", something like that. Skinny, bespectacled scientist. Right. Genius level scientist. Mark Ruffalo is like a retired, linebacker or something that, fell and broke his hip. Now he's the Hulk.
Yep. Yeah, I would really like to know what went through their mind when they were casting him and also, it wasn't like this was, hey, a new incarnation of Bruce Banner. You were replacing Edward Norton. Right. Like, why not get someone that's about the same size?
Exactly.
That's also one of the highlights of that Incredible Hulk movie, if you rewatch it, is Edward Norton playing Bruce Banner. It feels like Bruce Banner.
Yes.
Mark Ruffalo does not feel like Bruce
At
Banner.
all.
He just feels like some fucking dude who's about to turn into the Hulk.
Right. Doesn't feel like Bruce Banner or the Hulk.
No. All right, so Spider-Man, Peter Parker, superhuman strength.
Yep.
Chat says he's about 10 to 25 tons he can lift.
Correct.
Speed, super agility. He's got the spider sense, so he can kind of detect danger, right? And I guess to sum it up, he's genius level intellect, because why not? He's in the comics, right? He's a skilled tactician. He's got his web shooters. Now, there's a few instances where they come out of his body, but for the most part,
right,
it's just a web shooter. He can wall crawl, right? And he's pretty durable for his size.
Yep.
Acrobatics. He's kind of a hit and run kind of guy. Web traps, improvisation. How the fuck you say it? I can't talk today.
Like you just said.
Yeah, there you go. That too. So he's pretty badass, dude.
Right.
I also think sometimes people see him and think he's a teenager. You don't realize how strong he is because you're always thinking about the webs and the swinging.
Right.
But he's strong as shit.
Well, but also besides the strength, and it's interesting, that we have this topic because when I get into the hidden gem, I'm gonna break down some of the things that you just talked about.
Okay.
Right. It's interesting. So he's kind of like if you think about Spider-Man, Batman, Daredevil.
Yep.
Batman is the most amazing of all because he literally has zero superpowers. Right?
People say we're DC haters, Adrian. Shut the fuck up. See that? He just literally said Batman's like the most amazing person in the world or something. Whatever you said.
So because he has no spider sense, he has no radar, he has no strength, he has no nothing. He's just got some tools, right? And his skill, which is why he's honed his body to the way that he has.
Right.
Daredevil is kind of in between. He's got the radar thing and so on and so forth. And obviously he can, touch a painting and find out who people are.
That's my girlfriend.
Exactly. But outside of that, he's a regular dude. And then you got Spider-Man, right? But the thing about Spider-Man is look at the people that he goes up against. But he only has, the one, if you want to call it a offensive weapon, the web shooters.
Right.
He has the web shooters can be projectiles. He can pretty much make them whatever he wants, but he really has nothing else. Just like Daredevil really has nothing else other than the stick. Batman, he's got a whole array of shit, right? But he's also compensating for the fact that he literally has nothing else. Right. So the baddest people have the least amount of power, I'll say.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I think even for me as a kid, I always thought of Spider-Man as just the web, you can swing.
Right.
But
they stick to shit.
He's stronger than Captain America.
Oh, by leaps and bounds.
A lot.
By leaps and bounds, yeah.
And I don't think most people understand that. Like when you see that, you think because Cap's bigger, because he took the super soldier serum and all that he is stronger. Now, stronger doesn't always mean you're going to win. That's the thing too. Like he's stronger. Dude, if you've ever seen like a boxing match, an MMA fight, or even a real fight in the streets, the stronger person doesn't always win.
Right. Because there's also stamina, there's fighting skills. That's another thing that we're going to cover. Man, it's like you read my mind, dude. We're right into the hidden gem.
We might as well do hidden gem right now. All right, pause this, go to hidden gem. No, that would fuck us up. All right. Yeah. We'd be really confused. But I think that isn't talked about enough. I think you look to Spidey's speed and agility and spider sense before you think about his strength and things of that nature.
Absolutely.
Just like what I'm going to say about Hulk, there's his regenerative healing factor is rarely talked about.
Right.
It's rarely talked about to the extent where you can have him with a sling in his arm and people don't even question it because you don't even know how badass of a healer he is.
Right. The most accurate thing that I've seen regarding his strength was that thing that somebody made.
Oh, the Superman fight.
The Superman Hulk fight on YouTube, where Superman, jabs his hands into the Hulk's chest to try to rip his heart out or something, and Hulk pulls his hands out, and his heart is healing and his body's healing while he's doing it. Superman froze his hands up in space, broke them off, and then next thing you see is
they're growing back.
This gamma radiation boom because Hulk grew his hands back and he's slapping himself all across the space and shit.
Yep.
So nobody talks about that at all.
No.
Except now Wolverine, he's all healing power and claws, right? But they don't talk about his skill, durability, all these other things.
Right. Absolutely. Well, let's go through Hulk real quick. So Bruce Banner's Hulk. His strength grows with rage.
Yep.
This is another thing that we've not seen done properly on screen yet. I think we've seen a little bit of it with the Red Hulk, right? A little bit. The angrier guy. His skin is literally like putting off steam, right? Because there's a heat factor there with Red Hulk.
Right.
But we did see him get stronger as he got angrier. We've not really seen that with regular Green Hulk.
Right.
A little bit, if you remember in Age of Ultron when Wanda makes him go crazy and, Tony gets the Hulk Buster, we see a little bit of, but still not to like I don't think Tony with the Hulkbuster is going to stop a straight out upset Hulk as he gets angrier.
No.
Right. So his strength really has no upper limit because
Correct.
his anger has no upper limit. So the more pissed off he gets, sounds like a lot of my old friends when they would get drunk, you know. Now he's got the regenerative healing factor. Would you say it's on par with Wolverine and Deadpool? It's better. It's somewhere in between.
I would say to a degree is better.
Okay.
Because again, I'm assuming that the angrier he gets, the healing factor improves too.
Okay. He's got those thunderclaps, dude. That thing will send your ass to the next fucking city.
Right.
And he can leap miles.
Correct.
Miles in a single bound.
Correct.
Miles.
And he can run extremely fast too.
Yep. Dude, I was playing a lot of Rivals lately, and he's a character I started using a lot more of. So he's a unique character where you start as Bruce Banner, this scrawny ass he's got a little fucking laser gun and like a grenade.
Right.
He sucks. But if you had a good aim, you can take some people out. And then you hit, your ult, which you start with this as Bruce Banner, and then you can turn to the Hulk. And he's got this leap. The longer you hold the jump button, dude, he can jump. Now, in the game, it's not miles.
Sure.
But it's halfway, like, to the other side of your screen, pretty much. Pretty badass. He's got the thunderclap and then things of that nature. And he's nearly indestructible. His skin and bones.
Right.
Right? Like, Wolverine couldn't penetrate his skin, but most people are not. You ain't going to bruise the Hulk or fucking cut him with,
Right.
And his fighting styles pretty much smash everything in sight. Right? And he's just raw power.
Correct.
So it'd be a fun fight to see on screen.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I think the best Hulk fight we've seen on screen so far in the MCU was in Thor Ragnarok when he fights Thor and the Conquest of Champions when he shows up on whatever that planet is, the garbage dump planet with the Grandmaster.
Yep.
Dude, that was probably the best display of a Hulk fight that we've ever seen.
Well, fight, yes, but I also think on par is probably with the Edward Norton Hulk when the army came out and he changed
at the college.
At the college, yeah.
That was
pretty entertaining.
I actually just watched that the other day. That is badass. And they have those sound waves and then dude, he's just fighting. Like, they don't know what to do. They got him pinned, and then all of a sudden he takes the car or the tank that he split in half and wrecks those fucking things. That was pretty cool.
I don't understand how when they think about these in the comics, I know they have to do something, right?
Yeah.
So they think about, okay, we're gonna the Hulk's power is strength, so we're gonna match strength with strength. But you don't think about the other things that he can do.
Right.
So we're gonna hit him with these sonic things. But if I rip a car door off and throw it at your sonic things, which is basically aluminum, right? Then those are gone.
Correct.
Or Magneto. In the comic books, they spent billions of dollars coming after this cat with plastic helicopters. And what does he do? He pulls a metal post
from the ground,
lamp post from the ground, and uses it as a projectile and destroy the helicopters.
Right.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, it's insane. So all right, let's get back to versus these two fighting. Their strength. Spider-Man's really strong, but he's capped.
Yep.
Hulk's basically infinite. Right. Spider-Man's got him with speed and reflexes.
Incorrect.
He doesn't.
Spider-Man has him with reflexes, not speed.
You don't think Spider-Man's faster than Hulk?
No.
But he's got quicker reflexes.
Correct.
Okay.
And the advantage of the Spidey sense.
Right. He literally can dodge bullets and lightning.
Correct.
Which is insane. But Hulk can actually he can, as it says here, tag fast characters once enraged.
Right.
So he may not be, acceleration-wise is quick, but he can fucking stop you.
Right.
If he gets angry enough. Now, Spider-Man's pretty durable. We've seen him get his ass whooped and keep going.
Buildings fall on him, shit like that,
I would say Hulk is more durable, right?
Absolutely.
He's kind of tank level. He can absorb explosions, missiles, god punches. We talk about the fight with Thor. Thor's a god, dude.
Right.
And Hulk's literally going, blow for blow with him.
Right. Well, if you think about it, so think about this, right? So there's two things. You got Wolverine, which is not a lot of force. Wolverine is strong. He's like he's like Captain America level. Okay, 800 pounds.
Well, Spider-Man's stronger than Wolverine.
Absolutely. Well, you're talking pounds versus tons.
Right.
Right. So, but the adamantium is a cutting capability. So think about a really sharp a Japanese cutting knife, right?
Yeah.
You can take a piece of paper and just lay the knife on the paper, and it'll cut it in half, right? So that's the concept behind Wolverine. So you don't need a lot of power. You just need the sharpness of the blade in order to get through the Hulk's skin. And that's how he's able to do that. But besides that, Hulk, a nuclear bomb dude. He just, be pissing on a nuclear bomb and it won't even blow the spray to the side.
Right. Now,
that's an exaggeration, but I'm just saying.
Now, they're not both. Bruce Banner's a genius.
Yes.
Spider-Man's a genius. Peter Parker's a genius. So when...
there's different, again, hidden gem. We'll get to it later. But there's within each category, there's different levels.
Okay.
So Spider-Man is kind of like the lower level of what you would call genius, right?
Yeah.
And then
Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner is like way on the other spectrum.
He's like up there with what, Hank Pym?
Yeah, like the Hank Pyms, but not the Tony Starks or the Reed Richards.
But close.
Right. And Reed Richards is really, I mean, him and Tony Stark, they have different disciplines.
Yeah.
But they both are just like, Reed Richards has that 1 in 100-year mind, and Tony Stark is like that 1 in 99-year mind.
Okay. So if it's Bruce Banner, then Bruce is smarter than Peter.
Correct.
But as Hulk ain't that smart.
Not at all.
So from using strategy and his gadgets and things like that, Spider-Man's gonna have a little bit of an advantage there.
Sure.
Now again, he's a little more agile. He can climb walls, but we've also seen Hulk can literally climb buildings by just, punching into the building.
Well, why jump to get to the wall when you can just bring the wall to you?
That too. Now he's got the webbing, but Hulk usually rips through that shit.
Yeah.
So these two fighting, I'm gonna say, I think it's gonna be Hulk. I think it will definitely be Hulk.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it goes, let's say it's extended,
it won't be quick.
Spider-Man's, ability, his agility allows him to dodge some whatever shit the Hulk is throwing at him, the punches, so on and so forth. Eventually, he's going to get tired.
Right.
Which Hulk, he just, raged through that kind of a thing.
Correct.
And Spider-Man, he can, jump around a bunch of different places. But again, Spider-Man can jump on the building, but the Hulk can bring the whole building down.
Right.
So it's those kind of situations.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it wouldn't be quick. It wouldn't be a lay down. And I think, depending on how long it goes, like Spider-Man could survive. I don't think Hulk's going to kill him. But unless you somehow distract the Hulk and get him so fucking angry that, he's now forgot about you. But I don't.
If it's a versus, and even if Spider-Man does something, now we're assuming that he has nothing else other than the spider webs, right?
Right.
So because the Hulk typically looks at Spider-Man like a gnat, and kind of swat him away, kind of a deal. Even if Spider-Man comes at him full force, the only thing that he's gonna do is make the Hulk pay attention to him. Right? Say Spider-Man gets behind him and starts trying to choke him out. Yeah. What is that going to do? Piss him off.
Right.
He's not going to break his neck. He's not going to do any of that stuff. He's just going to piss him off. And even if he does snap his neck, what happens? How many times Banner has tried to off himself?
Right.
He comes back alive. He realives himself.
Oh, he realized.
So you got that whole factor. So that's the level of healing that the Hulk has. At the very least, at the very worst, Spider-Man would just piss the Hulk off. He'll snatch him off of his neck or whatever and just crush him.
Yep. Well, there you have it. Hulk wins the versus.